Today, I want to answer the question, where can I buy cheap real estate? So where can you buy cheap real estate? Well, by the end of this video, you're going to be equipped with the knowledge about the best places to purchase affordable real estate, along with strategies to identify and capitalize on these opportunities. Why are there some locations that are way more affordable than others? What economic or political factors contribute to these differences? Well, let's dive into this topic by first explaining what pitfalls you might encounter if you purchase cheap real estate. Secondly, I'm going to help you identify the areas where you can buy cheap real estate. And finally, I will show you a strategy you can engage in right now once you find cheap real estate. If you're ready, let's go. You know, if you look at real estate right now and prices are high and interest rates are even higher, it's become much more difficult for somebody to go out and purchase a home with interest rates being around 6.5%, 7.5%. And so a lot of people are turning to alternatives, especially real estate investors, when they're looking at areas where they could purchase real estate that isn't as expensive as it is in most of the United States right now. And there really are areas where you can find much cheaper real estate, but there are certain things you need to look out for when you engage in trying to purchase cheap real estate. And let's talk about that. What are some of those things that you really need to be aware of when you're looking for cheap real estate? Well, number one is location. The old adage in real estate is the three most important things in real estate is location, location, location. And one might argue that in today's global economy, that might not be as important, but it still has to be one of the main determining factors when you're looking to purchase real estate anywhere, especially cheap real estate. And once you understand location, you need to be able to answer a couple of questions that help you understand that area. Number one, is that area growing? Is it flourishing? Is there jobs that are available? What would get people to move to that area or stay in that area? Or what is driving that economy? And you might say, okay, well, where do I find the answers to some of those questions? Well, I think a good place to start is talking to the local real estate agents. I've mentioned in a lot of my videos, I really enjoy working with realtors. They brought me some great deals. And I think utilizing them to find out a little bit more information about the area is a wise choice and a wise thing to do when you're looking to buy cheap real estate, because they can answer some of those questions that will help you determine if the area you're looking at is going to be something that could be a winner or something that could be a potential loser. And obviously you can do your own Google research just looking in the area, but I think doing a little bit of research to understand the answers to some of those questions about why somebody would live there and all the auxiliary questions around that is really important. But outside of all that, location has to be the number one factor when we consider buying cheap real estate. The second factor that comes in is crime. Now, I've looked at a lot of properties in the last little bit, and some of them have popped up and I thought, man, this is a great deal. I can't wait to put an offer on it. Then I start doing a little bit more research. I go to some crime sites, start doing some research on the area and find out that that place has a lot of crime. And that is something I don't want to be caught in, where I find a good home and I place an offer going in blindly without knowing a little bit about the area when it comes to crime, because that could be an absolute showstopper for somebody that you're looking to sell the home to or rent the home to. And there are a ton of resources to be able to do that. One I've utilized before is crimegrade.org. It's free. I have no affiliation with it whatsoever, but I will mention this. I would be a little bit careful when utilizing it and get multiple resources to tell you about the crime in the city. Even just Googling a little bit will help out, because as I was doing this, as I looked at some of the areas and I noticed there was crime and some of them are rated F in some of these areas. And I thought, okay, I've done a little bit more research. It doesn't seem like it's that bad. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to look at my home city where I live right now. And it is one of the safest places probably in all of the United States. And I went to that area and I looked, and some areas within the city I live were rated with F grades when it comes to crime. And there hasn't been a major crime in that area or that in the city that I live in for a long, long time. So I came to the conclusion that they must be comparing it to the actual city itself, right? And meaning that if there was ever a crime in this area of the city, it was going to rate so much lower than other areas, because one crime in that area could mean a much more negative score because there's not that much crime to compare it to. So anyway, when you're doing research and it comes to crime, I would highly recommend looking at multiple resources that will help you determine the true nature of the crime in that area. The third potential thing that is really important to look at when buying cheap real estate is the quality of the home. Is it going to be a money pit? Now, obviously, if you're buying cheap real estate, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be some things that need to be fixed. The lawn might need to be redone, or who knows. But you don't want to end up in something that has a major, major problem, like with the foundation, the roof, the structure of the home. Now that we know some of the pitfalls or challenges that we should be looking at when it comes to buying cheap real estate, where should you be looking? Well, right now, I'm currently looking in the Midwest. I'm a fan of what I'm finding there, not only on getting property at a very low price, but also being able to then turn around and utilize some of these strategies I'll talk about in just a minute to make money off that property, or a lot of homes that don't have major challenges with them. And in those areas, I'm finding homes that are between say $40,000 to $70,000. I'm definitely looking for something below $100,000, but my sweet spot is that $40,000 to $70,000 range. Now, the homes aren't perfect, but what I'm looking for is a home that doesn't have any major issues that I could actually put a renter into right away. Now, does it require maybe some cosmetic work? Sure, it does, but I've actually bought some homes between that price range that I'm looking for with renters already in there, and been able to utilize that renter as somebody who eventually wanted to buy the home on a strategy which I'll talk about. Now, Midwest has kind of been my jam for the time being, but I've started to look in other areas of Texas, Louisiana, and I'm starting to see pockets where there are homes that fit the profile that I'm looking for. So can you find cheap real estate in a lot of different states? You absolutely can. It's just by doing the research and getting in there and finding it. But ultimately, wherever you're looking, here is my best piece of advice when you put offers on homes. I would put very low offers on these homes, 30 to 40% of below what they're asking. There's going to be some negotiation and give and take, but honestly, in order to do some of the strategies I'm going to talk about, you need to be able to get the property at a very low price. And my ratio currently is I'm seeing about 1 out of every 10 to 15 offers accepted, because I'm putting in low offers and eventually negotiating. The most recent one that I did was listed at 75 and I got it under contract for 53. So it is going to require you to put a lot of offers out there to be able to find the right one at the lowest price. So now that you know what to look for, some of the pitfalls, and where to look, what are some of the strategies you can utilize? Well, here's 2 investment scenarios that utilize the exact same strategy of lease options. So this first one I call cash flow flipping. This is where I put a really low offer on a home, I get a private money lender to come in and borrow me the money at a higher interest rate, and I'm going to purchase that home outright. So to make the math easy, let's say I bought a home for $50,000. I'm looking at an interest-only loan, and it might be between 10 to 12%, but let's say it's at 12%. Annual interest on that is $6,000 or $500 a month. So I've got a payment going out every single month for $500. Now, once I have that home secured, I am then going to do a lease option to somebody who is going to buy that home from me at a much higher price than $50,000, let's say $70,000, $75,000, and they're going to give me some option money to buy it at a certain price down the road, and they're going to give me that money up front. Let's say it's $2,000, and somebody's buying the home from me for $75,000. Now, they're going to be paying a rent while they live there, and a certain percentage of the rent is going to go towards their down payment. So if they're renting from me for $900 a month, and I'm allowing $100 of that to go towards their down payment over a 24-month period of time, they've then accumulated $2,400 towards the down payment. They've given me $2,000 for the option to buy the home 2 years from now at $75,000. That's $4,400 that they can then utilize towards the down payment when they execute on that option and buy the home for $75,000. Now, out of that $900 a month that I'm getting every month, I'm paying the $500 to the hard money lender. But at the end of that 2-year period of time, I'm getting $75,000. I've credited them about $4,500 towards that, and there's some closing costs, but I am taking that $70,000, I'm paying $50,000 to the hard money lender and keeping that $20,000 that's left over. This is a great strategy for making money with lease options. Now, another one that requires you to put no money out of your pocket, and it requires you not to even occupy the home, is a sandwich lease option. So if you can find a home at a very low price and you negotiate that with somebody and you do a lease option with them. Now, with this strategy, you might not need to go as low on price as you want, but still, the lower you can go, the better, because what you're going to do is try and sell it or lease option it to somebody else at a higher price. So you go in, you find a home, say, listen, I will buy this home from you. It's listed at 70. I'll buy it from you in 2 years at $60,000. And my monthly payment is going to be $800 a month. And I'm going to pay you $800 a month in rent, and I'll close in 2 years. And the option price I want to pay is just $1,000. And then if you turn around and found somebody else to lease option it from you for $70,000, and their option price was $3,000, and their monthly payment was, say, $950, you're going to make money 3 different ways. On the option price, where you're paying $1,000, they're paying you $3,000, so you make $2,000 there. And then on the monthly payment, where you're paying $800 and they're paying you $900, you're making money every single month. And then when you close on the home, you're giving the buyer $60,000, but you're receiving $70,000. And that is a strategy. If you go to some of my other videos that talk about this, I go in detail, and I even show you on a whiteboard exactly what I'm doing when it comes to breaking down the price and the 3 different profit centers. So these are strategies that I've used when it comes to finding cheap real estate, but I'd be interested in what you've done or what you've seen. So please comment. Let's engage in a dialogue. And as always, just for stopping by and watching the video, I have a free gift for you. It's aaronsfreetraining.com. Just click on the link. It is a short-term rental calculator where you put in the purchase price, the income, the expenses. It does all the work, and it spits out to you whether it's a good deal or not. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.